Welcome back to the Weekend Roundup, everybody.
We have a very interesting episode this week. We are talking about girl code.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to say I'm excited for this episode because I'm not.
Me neither.
I'm not. Because
that's why I said interesting.
I'm on trial this episode.
Me too.
I've definitely broken girl code.
Me too.
And we got a question. The whole reason we're doing this episode is because we got several questions about girl code, which I think is funny because I don't really think about girl code like a lot, but I think it is like an unwritten thing that a lot of people follow or say they do. We brought up a really interesting point, or I think you did. You were saying like girl code only exists because people want to break it.
Yeah, like
well, you never talk about girl code unless there's like something questionable going on.
Yeah, because we were talking about that last night. We were Googling different girl code questions, different girl code like topics, I guess. And I was like, I just feel like I've never had to be like, don't fuck my ex, Maddie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
no,
you
exactly.
just don't.
Like it's question. I feel like it's unwritten, but that's why we need an episode about it because it's unwritten, so no one really knows.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's seen it, and we're about to write it. We're about to write the girl code. Are we? Probably not.
Yeah, sorry that took so long. I was trying to find the girl code question. Basically, the reason that we wanted to do this is because of this question, which we've already read, but I'll read it again. And it says, love the pod. Seriously, every episode hits. Thank you.
Thank you.
I read that to stroke my own ego.
We're like,
you didn't need to hear that, but I did.
It?
You should definitely do an episode about girl code. When is it okay to break it? And in what situations do your feelings for a guy come first? Have either of you ever had a bad experience with this? Yes. Have you ever broken girl code yourself? Yes. Or wanted to? Well, I did. So
I have.
Yeah. Should we go on trial first and then talk about girl code, or should we?
I feel like maybe, yeah. I feel like we need to be open and honest before we start saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we got to air out the dirty laundry. People got to know where we're at contextually.
Who wants to go first?
Not me. I really
Can we do rock, paper, scissors for it just one time?
Yeah.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, fuck. Okay, I'll go first. I got scissors.
Did you know I'm crazy good at rock, paper, scissors?
I don't fucking care.
Once,
all right.
Once at soccer, we had a whole tournament, and I beat everyone like twice in a row.
It's because you have dumb intuition.
I do.
By dumb, I mean good. By good, I mean strong.
I'm like, that's right. Anyways.
Okay, yeah. My name is Lauren Landry, and I've broken girl code.
Okay, so we're really doing a whole thing. Okay.
I was 15, which is interesting because when I started to tell this story last night, because I don't even think I've ever told you this story.
No.
I when I started off, I said I was 15. Brianna jumped in. She went, well, nothing counts when you're 15 because you're 15. No, it does.
It definitely counts, but I get what she means. Like, I feel like you have a little bit more leeway to be a little silly.
Okay, so here's what happened. I think I've talked about the person that I was with for like a majority of early life before, from like 14 to like
early
17
life
or something.
Yeah.
And anyways, we all know he sucks. I've talked about him a lot.
We're like, he sucks.
Very toxic, manipulative, abusive, a very hot topic of my therapist and I's discussion to this day.
He's a main character in the worst way. He's like the villain. He's the Disney villain.
He's my villain. He's my villain origin story. He's the root of almost all of my problems. Shout out. I'll be sending you my therapy bills for the last 6 years.
He's like,
so anyways, this is kind of, I guess, a quick glimpse into that because I don't talk about that relationship. And this is all you're ever going to get. And you're going to know why. So we were like together for a little while, ended up not working out. We were probably like 14, 15, whatever. He lived in another town. So it was kind of like an online relationship, but I was heartbroken. Like this was my first real heartbreak.
Yeah.
And which I won't even get into. But
so you guys were dating and then you broke up.
Like, yeah, but you're 14, 15.
Yeah.
So it's like, what really were we, you know? But we were together. We used to like FaceTime every night. Like he was my first kiss. Like anyways. Anyway, we ended up breaking up or not being together or whatever the fuck you do when you're 15. And I found out like maybe like a week or two later that he like had a new girlfriend.
Of course. After a week.
Yep. And I knew her because I was friends with her friend. She lived in his town. I'm really fucking myself here. And
like exposed.
Yeah, this is a brutal one. I will not be listening to this episode next week. You're gonna have to listen to this one for approval.
Brutal.
And so yeah, I was really upset. He had a new girlfriend. I knew of her. and it sucked because there was nothing wrong with her.
Yeah.
She was beautiful. She's stunning, and she was kind, and she was nice, and
no,
like
that's the worst.
Like I was like, fuck. You know what? I'll take that on
That's
it.
always how it goes. Like
that.
you just have to accept it. You're like,
Yeah.
yep.
I was 15
bomb.
and I didn't have an ass yet, and she did, and I was like, listen, I gotta take that as a woman and understand that my time isn't here yet.
Yeah.
So probably like, I don't know, maybe a month or two or something into them dating. This might have happened, started in the summer. I don't know. He hit me up again, and he still had this girlfriend, and I was like, no, you have your girlfriend or whatever, but I was not over him. Anyways, flash forward. I don't know how my mind ended up being convinced. Let's just say he had a way with words.
Not a way with words.
A way with words.
They always have a way with words.
Well, he was toxic and manipulative and a fucking asshole. He probably would have made me believe the sky was purple if he said it enough times.
Yeah.
And anyways, because I'm 15, I wasn't like another woman because we would just meet up and make out behind buildings. But I did break girl code. Like I was a little mistress
making
when
out
I was
with
15
him behind buildings.
Yeah, I think we made out like 3 times, but for me it was incredibly scandalous.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very scandalous, especially back in the day.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, whoa.
So I think that might have happened like
drum.
twice, 3 times, I don't know. And I ended up telling her. I did tell her.
Love that.
It was because I think he lied to me about something and it like pissed me off, and it was such a messed up situation because like he used to like call me and freak out about her like texting her ex, and I'd be like, are you fucking stupid? You're on the phone with me right now. But
like it's a little hypocritical.
Yeah, I did tell her everything that happened. I was completely open and honest about it, and I was like, I initiated the first kiss because I did. And I was like, but he initiated the rest, and like, was totally open and upfront with her, which is an interesting discussion in and of itself because a lot of people like have very differing opinions on that.
Like, should you message
the girl?
Should you not? Or like, even if you just witness it, if you're not involved directly, do you say something?
Like, at what level do you say something? Because some people are like, I would never snitch. Like, I would never say anything like that. It's not my business. But it was my business in this case, so I did.
Well, yeah, that's a little different.
I did say it.
You're like involved. I feel like if you're not involved, do you?
Yeah. Oh, does anyone want to know his reaction to me telling his girlfriend?
I do.
I think it was like
he definitely flipped shit.
I think it was trigger warning. I think it was go fucking die, you cunt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. If that gives any context and to his personality.
I think it might.
And I will say, now here's my apology tour. 1, I've apologized to this girl multiple times, know her to this day. I think she follows the pod. We've moved on. 2, this was a very isolated event in my life. I never did anything like it before because I was a child, and I've never, ever done anything like it since. So I do think that it was more of a reflection of the situation I was in with a actual abuser than it was a reflection of my character or anything like that. But it did happen. Like I said, I initiated the first kiss. So I have knowingly broken girl code before and had a little bit of an affair, a love affair at 15.
Not a love affair.
But since then, I have not broken girl code myself.
And do you regret it?
Yeah, I regret it horribly. It's one of the worst things I think I've ever done. Yeah.
I think that's...
But I have had girl code broken on me, but we'll touch on that. I'd love to hear your story about breaking girl code, Maddie. I don't know it.
Yeah, you do.
I know, but
I know. This
I wanted to play a part for a second.
I know. I'm trying to decide how much I want to say right now because this whole situation, unlike Laura, this didn't happen when I was 15. This happened when I was last week old. But yeah, so I really don't have any excuse for mine. And I think I've been pretty honest about that, at least when I talk to you about it, because
I've been very honest with you.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm pretty open and self-aware about the whole situation.
If there's one thing you and I are,
it's self-aware, and I don't want to say too much right now because I do think this will get a whole episode at some point.
Maybe just talk about it in the context of girl code, and we can discuss it further at another date.
At another date. Yeah. So
us walking like we're in legal territory, like we're talking like your lawyer would tell us to. No one's gonna do shit, but we're just freaked out.
No, well, it's not. I don't think anyone's gonna like legally. I just think there's a lot of emotions in the situation that I'm in, and I just don't want to piss anyone off or upset anybody.
You're making it sound way worse than it is the
Yeah.
more you talk.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so basically here's the sitch. My ex-boyfriend hit me up, but he didn't hit me up, actually. I hit him up. Only after multiple like posts and like he was like breadcrumbing me hard. We talked about that in first season, when breadcrumbing is basically when like people like throw hints at you over social media, like like your old pics, maybe post your song from when you were dating in 2016.
Yeah, I was gonna say you want to bring that one up.
I will bring that up because that's like, I feel like that was a big one. Like the just little things that you're like, oh,
I can't say the fucking song, guys, but think of the most 2016 song ever and then putting that on your story right now.
Hits one.
Weird.
Hits one.
Like
It was
the
like
number one 2016
song of 2016. Like you can probably think of 3 right now. I might
It's
even
one of them.
toss 3 songs out and see if people can guess, but no, I won't do that.
We're feeling
I'm
bad.
like, no. But anyways, so I had been breadcrumbed, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's how you would say it. And then we get a question anonymously on the Weekend Roundup. And it was like, what do you do? Oh, I do have to say, I would breadcrumb back because I wanted to see if I was like
insane.
crazy. I was like, there's no way that was for me. So, and then I'd do something and then like he'd do something. Like it was a whole game, which is fucked because he had a girlfriend. I don't know if I said that, but he had a girlfriend. And then we get an anonymous question.
This is not the most recent ex, BT Dubs.
No.
Just want to throw
No,
that out.
yeah, this isn't the most recent ex. I get a question on the Weekend Roundup anonymously, and it's like, what do you do if someone's trying to get your attention again?
Again
Again is a key word here, but I don't think you'll know why this episode.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge key word. Like, that's how I knew it was this ex sending it.
Also the typing. Like,
The
you know how you
typing-
can kind of tell someone's typing
here's
mannerisms?
the thing, too. We said it before in this episode. I have dumb intuition. I knew who sent it. I immediately knew. I was like, there's no fucking way we're getting an anonymous question from my ex right now. And we were. So I know it's him. And so I text him and I say, hey, was this fucking you? Like, was this you sending it? He lies at first and he says no. And then we just start talking, whatever. Eventually, like, we, I guess, start texting and just like agree to like be friends, I guess. His girlfriend finds out and like breaks up with him, which honestly fair. Because I think like he was obviously like being suspicious throughout the whole relationship, I'm assuming, if he was like doing that with me. Like, who knows what he was doing with other people. But then I like definitely continued to talk to him. And
After they broke up.
And like right recently, like literally like right after it happened to like now. I'm gonna be honest about it because the episode's gonna come out soon, like next week or something. And yeah, so it was just a little messy. And the key word, I'll say the again thing, this exact same situation happened probably 2 years ago.
Right at
With
the
same
start of
person.
COVID.
Right at the start of COVID, like in
Quarantine, deep
this whole
quarantine.
thing. It was like the story of quarantine, like the Zoom call where we debriefed this whole thing. Like,
We will get into it.
that's an episode for next week, but just I'm not innocent with the girl code thing, and like I feel like that's something that was like going on currently.
Another thing though that is important to add, like when you're talking about girl code, is intention.
Like yeah.
I didn't have good intentions when I broke girl code, whereas I think you did. Like I think you were just maybe trying to reconnect.
I was just kind of trying to figure out why he was doing that. Like, because I'll be completely honest. Like, this person was like my like first love. Like, this was like my person, or like I guess was I don't know. It's like complicated right now, but I feel like in my head at the point when I text him, I don't think he is anymore. But I was like, this is my person. Like, this is like my end game. So I can't say I didn't have good intentions, you know. Like I feel like no matter what, in my head I was like, oh well, maybe we'll end up together. Like we'll end up together, which is like fucked. And I also want to say I sound so simpy on this fucking podcast because I'm always like, oh, I was in love with him, but like I love a lot of people, but I was like in love with him. Do you know what I mean? Like this was like, this person's different, or like was, which we'll get into next week.
Yeah, so that's our girl code trial.
That's our girl code trial. I'll talk I feel like I'll talk more openly about it when we have a whole episode, because there's more context and stuff. Like, it's kind of confusing right now.
It was hard. It is confusing, I think, for a listener to put together what you were trying to say, but quickly before we move on, I will say we are going to do a whole episode on it. If we gave enough context right now, it would just end up being
The whole
the
episode, so we just can't.
Basically, all you need to take away from that is me and her have broken girl code before, and now we're going to give you advice on it.
We've been bad.
We've been bad.
We've been bad. And you know what? I think everyone should be bad. And I think us having been bad is what qualifies us to give advice. Because I never think we're qualified to give advice because we actually usually do the exact opposite. But I think that's why we know. It's like, okay, here's what not to do.
Yeah.
And I don't recommend you break girl code. I know that's one of the questions.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, Maddie and I were talking about this last night, and the question was, when is it okay to break girl code? And the answer is never.
It's never okay to break girl code because
you're hurting someone.
There's a whole reason there's a code.
Mm-hmm.
like there wouldn't be a rule for you not to do that if,
you could.
If you could. But then it goes into, like, how far removed from the person. Like, are you prepared to be, like, deal with the consequences? I think that's important. Like, you have to be, that's kind of what we came to, I feel like, last night is like, whatever you're looking into, whatever you're questioning, you just have to be okay with the consequences of your actions.
Because I think what this person was essentially trying to ask is, like, can I date my friend's ex? Which is probably the most visited girl code topic. And that's the thing is girl code depends so much on context.
Yeah.
Are you trying to fuck your best friend's ex? Or are you trying to date your best friend's ex? Or are you trying to start a relationship and get a dog and get an apartment with your best friend's ex?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, it's definitely
There's different levels. As far as fucking your best friend's ex, no. Straight
I just
up
don't
no.
think it's worth it.
It's not worth
it's
it.
Not
There's
worth it.
Because, and also the term ex is important too. Like Maddie and I were discussing last night, this person that you just talked about, I said, like, if I fucked them, how would you feel? And you were like, absolutely not. Like, you have an ex on your back. Like, no. And then I said, okay, what about if I fucked the guy from A Tale of Two Weekends?
Season 1 baddie.
Like the one that Maddie had a crush on in season 1.
And I said
doesn't have a crush on this person anymore, is really over it, removed from it. But it still happened like a year ago.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, like I go out tonight and I get drunk and I see him and I hooked up with him. Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't know. Because I feel like it's like, I don't know. I've always had this rule. And this is an interesting rule because me and my best friend have always had this rule, like, through high school, through everything. And, like, I don't know if it's actually a good rule. And it was always like, okay, you have, like, one person that, like, you can say is off limits to everyone, and everyone else, it's like whatever. And I don't know how, like, actually healthy or how.
I just don't think that's a reliable.
I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair because it's like, okay, everyone has feelings about everyone. And it's weird because that has been my mindset and I've just never questioned it until literally last night when we started talking about it. I was like, I don't know if that's accurate. But that's just like, in my head, that's like still how I feel like function. Like, because that's just how I function. I don't know.
Well, it makes sense to only have dibs on one person.
Yeah.
That seems fair because I think everybody has had a friend who seems to have dibs on everyone. Who seems to like,
and that's definitely where it came out of. I will say, like, everyone, like,
people have dibs on other people. Like,
it's just like you can't really do that. Like, you don't own a person.
And I've seen so many fights go down because of that. Like, a friend of mine really had a crush on this guy for like a couple years throughout high school, and then like way later on after we graduated high school, another friend and him had like a one night stand, like hooked up. And it was the question of, does your dibs still count? But it depends on how she felt about him. Like, I don't know.
That's what I mean. Like,
because, you could, the thing is it's not as easy as just one ex. If I say, honestly, anybody can fuck my ex-boyfriend. I don't really give a shit. But if you wanted to, that's all you, girl. But like, there's other people that I did not date, that I never dated, don't have feelings for currently, but it's like, if Maddie hooked up with them, like, I would lose my fucking mind. And I can think of at least 3. Do you know what I mean?
No,
like, probably 3 people that it's like, well, yeah, I don't have dibs on them necessarily. That would be so stupid if I had dibs
like
on the person that I'm talking about. Like, that would be really fucking stupid. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to get hurt by you
No, especially
up
because
with-
I would know like the history and like everything that's happened between you two. So I think it's like even more fucked. But then I feel like it goes like we can get into like, okay, well, if that's the case, then how far removed do you have to be from someone to like be like for it to be okay? Because like I obviously would never, you know, go for the person that you're talking about because like I know the history there, I know what happened, I know how you felt about them. Like it would be really fucked up for me to know that and go into that. But say like if someone from class, like someone like we went to school with who like you don't really know but you know you talk to, you see daily, like they went for it, like could you really say anything?
No,
because
they don't know what happened.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't really be mad at them.
It's so interesting because it's so it just comes down to context. Like Maddie is absolutely not allowed to hook up with, you know, probably almost anyone that I've hooked up with. Like it's just weird.
No, I agree. And here's the thing too, like if you did, like I would just be like, I probably wouldn't be mad about it.
Yeah.
Except for that one person.
Yeah.
But like I would definitely be like, okay, weirdo. Like that's fucking weird.
That's
like,
what we talked
I think
about.
It's just weird. Like it's just like, oh, okay, why do you want to hook up with your friends? But then again, I can see maybe someone being in a situation where they're like, oh, it's just like an unfortunate
thing.
Timing, like maybe they just got with the wrong person. And like if you were like, hey, Maddie, like I really want to see where it goes with me and the guy from season 1, like I feel like there could be something there and I kind of want to explore that. I feel like I'd be like, okay. Like, I feel like I'd respect that more. Like, I think girl code, too, definitely comes back to, like, communication and boundaries and, like, being able to talk about it before you do it. Mm-hmm. But I feel like everything's like that. Like, to me, like, I'm not going to just go screw over my friend without asking them first. Mm-hmm. Hey, can I screw you over for a second here? Date X? You know, I don't know. I just think you need to bring it up. You can't just do it. Mm-hmm. So that's a whole other thing, how to navigate if you're going to break the...
Yeah, because it's just, that's the thing. Like, let's think about someone. Okay. Sperm boy.
Okay.
Let's think about that. Do I have feelings for sperm boy right now?
No.
Do I give a fuck about sperm boy? No. I would think you are so fucking weird if you like texted me tomorrow and said I hooked up with sperm guy last night because you sat with me while like I talked about him.
It would be really weird.
I've asked you what to text him back. I've asked you, you've helped me clean up my room before you would come over. You've been there for all that. However, if I don't know, someone who I'm acquaintances with through school or friends with or one of your friends who listens to the podcast hooked up with them, I wouldn't care.
No.
It's all about your boundaries, like in your friendship. I know a lot of girls who are like Eskimo sisters with the same guy because they don't care. Like that's the nature of their relationship. So it's hard for us to sit here and tell you what girl code is when it really depends on you and your friendships and your boundaries.
And I think, too, it's like if you're thinking that what you're going to do is wrong...
It's probably wrong.
It's probably wrong. And it's like, that doesn't mean you can't do it. Obviously, you can still do it.
You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
you can
do whatever you want, but you just need to be aware of what you're choosing between. Like, you're basically in a situation like that, you're choosing between your friend and... like a romantic interest. So it's like, okay, you could go for the romantic interest, but is what they have worth more than the friendship that you've already like created and had, you know? Like to me, like I don't think any friendship would be worth like
any ex would be worth.
Any ex would be worth ruining our friendship. So it's like,
and the guys that we have gotten with are not worth it. I'll tell you right now.
Definitely not worth
I know your list, you know mine. We're not interested.
Like, no. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think. And also going back to like talking about it beforehand, I think a lot of people would be scared to do that because it's like, oh, what if they say no? And it's like, if they say no, then
you have your answer.
You have your answer, and you probably shouldn't do it. You could still decide to do it. Yeah. It just, like, changes the game. Mm-hmm. But I think that's how you have to do it.
Yeah, that...
If you want any chance of actually saving the friendship, you have to bring it up.
This is not a situation where you can... It's easier to beg for forgiveness. Something that I often say.
I always say that,
Me too.
Yeah.
Because, it's your life and you make the decisions and you do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like that's,
so it's like beg. What's the saying?
It's better to beg for beg for forgiveness than ask for permission.
Yeah, but in
And
this case,
I had strict,
ask for permission.
I had strict parents growing up, so that has been my motto my entire life.
It has to be.
Like with the tattoo. But number one thing I think with this, if you are interested in an ex of a friend's, then you need to talk about it. There is no, oh, we got drunk and we hooked up, or we got drunk and we kissed.
If
we
you
got
do that,
we got drunk and we
like,
talked about our feelings, or we have a Snapchat streak, but like we're not a thing.
Yeah.
You need to be open
and honest about
everything and decide, like, do I like this person? If you're listening to this and you are thinking about this, I want you to ask yourself this honestly, and don't answer it right now. Like, think about it. Do you like this person, or do you like that they're giving you attention?
Mm-hmm. That's important.
Did you like them when they were with the friend? Because that's another thing too. Like, if you always looked at them and thought like, oh, I want a partner like that, then maybe there are feelings there. Or did you not like them and all of a sudden you are liking them?
Yeah, like you're just liking like
that's
something bad. Like you're liking the drama of it all.
The drama of it all. And 3 is, like Maddie said, are you ready to lose your friend over this? Because you might not.
Yeah, you might not. It might work out and everything's fine. But like, I think you just need to be mentally prepared for that going into illegal girl code activity.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's talk about brothers.
Yeah. Brothers, we talked about brothers because then that's a whole other thing.
Extensively last night.
We both have brothers. I have an older brother. Laura
I have
has
a younger brother.
2 younger brothers. One of them's 13 though, so he's kind of out for the count.
He's out. We're just going to be talking about the older brother.
Yeah. But brothers are interesting because brothers and exes are different,
but the same.
Like, there's something about the idea of my friends. But here's the thing. I was thinking about this morning. I think I would care less if my friend got with my brother than with my ex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
But the thing is, I still think it's kind of fucked.
I mean, yeah. We were talking about
if it was
this.
like a drunk I think it's the same rules apply.
Yeah.
Y'all better be talking to me if you're trying to hook up with my brother.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like it's like, okay, like whatever. What did I say last night? I would rather someone be in love with my brother than...
You said I'd rather someone be in love with my brother than just fuck my brother.
Yeah. Which, okay, I think that's valid.
I do too. And also our opinions, though, also kind of are mine are a little bit more extreme because my brother is younger. So I have like the defense mechanism
You're
against
like
my
protective,
brother. Yeah,
whereas I feel like I'm like more like, what the fuck?
What the fuck's wrong with you?
I just think it's weird.
Yeah. I think I would be really upset if someone hooked up with my brother. Like really upset
I
because
think you would.
Yeah.
I think you would.
I'm really protective of my brother. Like I really am like a mama bear through and through with my brothers, as I'm sure people know. But again, I just think it's weird. And I think that
I just think it's weird. And you know what? That's honestly, I think it's just weird. I think it's fucking weird.
Have you ever had like any experience like that?
Not when I can say on the podcast. But there's just been some suspicious activities back in the day.
Listen, yeah, it's interesting. Brothers, it's the same deal because the thing though is that what me and Brianna were talking about last night, like off the bat, because Brianna was the one asking us these questions. She was like media training us.
Yeah.
She said, like, do you think your friend can hook up with your brother? And I was like, Maddie, no. Like, Maddie's not hooking up with my brother. Brianna's not hooking up with my brother. You know, Margaret is not hooking up with my brother. But, like, friends?
Like, like a school friend or something.
A school friend, a sport friend, a friend that I have, like, when I go out, one of your friends.
Yeah. It's kind of different.
Go ahead. Like, that's, you know.
You can't really say anything.
I don't really feel the need to like be protective over that because, well, one, I come from a small town.
Yeah.
Like if I was to fend off every person I was friends with in the town with my brother, poor Craig would be sitting at home twiddling his thumbs.
Craig's
like
nothing.
So I think that is also something too. But at the same time, like when I was talking about it with Brianna last night, Brianna doesn't have a brother, or she has like younger brothers.
Yeah.
But she said, like, why would you be so upset? Like, what bothers you about that if Maddie got with your brother? And how I explained it last night is I think I just know Maddie. Like I know
I'm
Maddie's
toxic.
I know how Maddie like operates, and I know all those things about her, and I know how my brother operates, and I know how he is in relationships, and I know how you are in relationships. I don't want to see you together because it would be really awkward for me to know that you guys like feel that way towards each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on the same end, that has really worked out for a lot of people. Me and Brianna were talking about Kathleen Lights last night. If anyone is like an OG YouTube fan, Kathleen Lights is like a makeup guru that was really popular when I was in like middle school. And she married her best friend since birth's brother. And part of her YouTube channel, like her old videos, are that she would do her makeup and tell stories when story times were really big, and I was obsessed with them. I watched all of them, and there were always stories from like high school, middle school with her best friend, very similar to us. And it's like if I married Jake, like that's the level it is. So she's telling all these stories. Jake's Maddie's brother, and she's telling all these stories. And she's like, and so then me and my friend and her brother, we all went down to the, like, and she's telling these stories from childhood. And it's like, at what point did you fuck her brother? Like, is what I want to know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, it's like, because we were saying how the same rules kind of apply. Like, we were like, oh, if it was like love, and they were like, oh, like, hey, I'm in love with your brother. Can I explore that? It's like, okay, how do you react to that?
Well, that's the thing. I think if you came to me, this is all figure of speech, Craig.
I don't want Craig getting any ideas right now.
Craig, you better fucking relax, buddy. I'm watching
We're like,
you.
Turn the app off.
Yeah. No, he doesn't listen. Craig's actually so mean about the podcast. Let's talk about how much my brother sucks for a second. Last night I texted him and said, yo, I'm at a basketball game, and some guy just said, like, oh, I saw your podcast. Like, nice job. Texted that to my brother. You know what he responded?
I don't even want to know.
Shut the fuck up. Probably a loser.
We're like,
So I don't think he's listening. But anyway,
like,
if you are,
Craig,
put her away. This is hypothetical.
Craig's going to find out we talked about him and freak out.
I mentioned him one time in an episode this summer. I was talking about like his ex-girlfriend at the time. I like mentioned a story about her, and I was like, oh yeah, my brother's girlfriend. And I told the story, and Craig was like, did you fucking talk about me on your podcast? But anyway, I am now. I think if you came to me and said, like, I am in love with your brother, and I think that we have a future.
In love with Craig.
Yeah, I'm in love with Craig, and I think that there is a future, and I want to explore that. Like, how do you feel about that? My first reaction is, how long have y'all been hooking up and not telling me?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't think you can hook up with them before you talk to them.
No, 100%.
Because if
100%.
I said, how long have you been hooking up, and you said, we haven't done anything yet, then I'd be fine.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because you weren't going behind... we wouldn't be going behind anyone's back.
There is no test it out, then talk about it.
No, it's...
You talk about it and go forward.
Then you test it out. You can't... Because you need to be like... And when you talk about it, you need to be like, hey, nothing's happened, but like, I'm interested in the potential of maybe something happening, or just like exploring it. Like, I just want to see what's going to happen. So what would you do, though, if your brother came to you instead of your friend and said the same thing? Like, oh, it's... like, I'm seriously interested in like seeing where this could go. Like, we haven't hooked up, but like, I just want to see like if there's any spark there. And like, he was dead serious. Like, he was not saying he just wanted to like hook up or something. Cause I feel like there is kind of a difference there. Like, if my brother was like, yo, I just want to hook up your friend, and I'd be like, okay, fuck you. No.
Yeah. I have said that to Craig.
We're like, fair enough.
I'd say that to Craig. If Craig came to me, I gotta stop saying his name. He's gonna get mad at me. If my brother came to me, no, I'm not referring to the 13-year-old.
Like,
my brother came to me and said
imagine Daniel's like,
I'm in love.
Lauren, I'm in love with your friend. We're like, oh, that's sad.
I think if my brother came to me, I would be more like protective of my friend and be
I
like,
think so too.
Okay, well, if that's something you want to do, then you need to prove that. Like, I think I would hold a very high standard to my brother. Like, I think it would come down to, oh, you want to be with my friend? All right, let's see you take her out to multiple dates. I want multiple dates. I want flowers on her doorstep. I want gifts. I want words of affirmation.
I want you to represent the family.
If my brother decided that he wanted to get serious with a friend of mine, it would be no easy task.
No, like, it would be like it's do or die. Yeah. I feel like same.
If you're willing to do this, that better be your fucking wife or husband.
That's
right
like
there.
Soulmate.
Yeah.
I agree.
So there would be no like Snapchat, come over, let's chill, watch a movie. Like,
it's like a real deal.
It's relationship.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. Because I don't think I could do, I don't know. I just feel like for just like them to have sex or whatever, like it would just be kind of awkward to like
And I'm
be
also
around and stuff.
someone who is just so close to my friends and so close to my family. My family and my friends are very intertwined with one another. Like my close friends. I've always had people over at my house. I always bring friends to like family events.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure my like friend,
I was gonna say we had fun in the summer.
I took
party.
Maddie to my cousin's graduation, and we just got
literally
fucking
the best night of the
so
summer.
drunk.
It was so fun.
Super fun night. I've taken. I mean, shout out Margaret. Anyone who knows me probably knows who Margaret is. Margaret has been to literally every single family event since we were like 16. So
it's a good time.
Obviously, her and Craig getting together makes sense, but would be really fucking weird.
Yeah.
No offense, Seamus. Not to get on Margaret's boyfriend's toes or anything here, but like it's awkward. It's weird. I don't like it.
It's weird, yeah.
Makes me uncomfortable and makes me know that the attention is not on me anymore, and that's not okay.
Yeah, and it kind of also though goes to how it would put you in a weird position, or like put whoever it is in a weird
sound
position.
like I'm joking, but I'm serious. Like you're losing a massive chunk of attention from your friend because, well, one, you lose a chunk of attention from your friend when they get a boyfriend anyways.
Yeah. So when
that's
it's like
just part of
your
it.
Fucking brother.
When it's your brother, it's like, okay, well, my boyfriend or my friend's coming over now, and they're just gonna be hanging out with my brother. Like, you know,
like it's weird.
So again, I think it needs to be the same thing, the communication.
Yeah.
That's weird though that I wouldn't say to you. Like, if you were interested in my brother, like, oh, you better step your fucking pussy game up then, bitch, if you want to be... You know what I mean? Like, I would be like, are you sure?
I got to court. Yeah. Like...
You don't have to court him.
No, that's how I feel, too. Like, I don't know why, but I just wouldn't really... I feel like I'd just be like, oh.
Well, also, too, if you're looking to, like... Same thing goes from what we first said. If you think that there is a future with your friend's brother, play My Best Friend's Brother by Vic... Oh, what a song. I just realized halfway through saying that. I love that song. We got to play it on the way back.
Yeah, seriously.
I think you need to understand that what your friend is feeling is a lot. Like, you're coming to them and telling them this, and in that second, they are losing... The
friendship kind of changes.
They're losing that part of your friendship where you sit around and talk about sex.
Yeah.
And talk about relationships.
No, that's
and
what I was
talk
thinking.
About...
For you and I specifically, it would be... uber weird.
Well, there is a podcast that does that.
Yeah, no.
Brianna was telling us about it last night. I can't remember the name.
I'm pretty sure it's the same YouTube person you were just talking about, isn't it?
No, separate.
Different person.
Separate person. This is this is Kennedy Walsh's brother and sister who I'm talking about. I can't remember their names. Kennedy Walsh is a YouTuber. And her sister is older than her, and her sister has had this best friend, I think her name's Devora, since they were kids. Like 3 years old.
Yeah.
And their families grew up next to each other. And Devora started dating her best friend's brother when they were like, maybe like 2 years ago or something.
Okay.
And they have a sex podcast together.
It's just weird.
And it's not like ours. Like it's a sex podcast.
Yeah, like...
And oftentimes this girl's talking and she's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I've definitely been loving back shots more recently. And the girl's like, that's my brother. Like, you know what I mean? It's an awkward podcast.
It's like,
how do you talk?
How do you talk about it? How do you talk about it?
Yeah.
Because I feel like us, it's different because we would just change our content. I don't know though. Then it just goes into changing. Like, say we didn't have a podcast together, we could just never talk about that again.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could, but it's just like, oh, okay, weirdo. Like it's weird. It's weird. The whole thing is weird. That's what it comes back to.
Let's revisit snitching.
I know this is a hard one.
Yeah. So I said this. I said this at the start of the episode where I told the girl myself.
Yeah.
And that's because I was the one in the wrong.
Yeah.
So I think that makes sense.
No, I think if you're in the wrong, you should.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not involved, do you? I have a hard time with this one.
I do too.
Like I genuinely don't know.
So let's think of an example here. Like some guy with a girlfriend, really obviously. His whole page is his girlfriend. Actually, this does happen.
And
he's swiping up on you. He's Snapchatting you. It's not necessarily flirty,
but he's giving you attention.
He's giving you a lot of attention. What do you do?
I don't know if you can say anything.
No,
because then if you say something, you just seem like
you're reading into things.
Yeah, you're reading into things, and it's like I feel like the girlfriend would just be like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't love it if I was the girlfriend, because the thing is I think it's really important for your partner to make new friendships while in the relationship and have opposite sex or like same-sex attraction, like
Yeah.
friendships, like
I feel like I would write it off.
I
as
just
that.
think, to me, like, yeah, if my boyfriend or my girlfriend, you know, was starting a new friendship with the gender that they're attracted to, like, that's fine. But is it not your friend that you met through work, or your friend that you met through another friend that you're starting this new
Yeah.
friendship? Why are you going on Instagram
Are you
and seeking
actively-
out
Yeah, I guess
like
it's true.
some new girl besties or some new guy besties? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it depends on like how it happens. So I feel like if it's like you're seeking it out, it's kind of weird.
So what about a guy like commenting like swiping up hard eyes or something very obvious, or like hot, or they say
They're,
something,
like, they're flirting.
They're flirting with you. They're calling you hot or something like that. What are you doing there?
I feel like I would want to say something. Would I say something?
We never said
That's a different
anything
question.
to Mr. Mason's.
Yeah, I know. We never
Who the
said
fuck is-
anything.
who the
That's
fuck
what I
is
mean. Like,
Nathan?
we talked about it. We wanted to, but then we're like, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? And that's a crazy situation too. Do we even know the woman involved at all?
He
Like,
never tagged her.
we
in
don't
anything,
even know her
which
name.
is probably strategic.
Yeah, like we don't know anything, about that person at all. Like we don't even know how to contact them. So I feel like that's a kind of a different situation, but we definitely wanted to. We talked about that for a while.
I did. That's the thing. Like, I struggled with that, but there was nothing I could really say. I didn't know how to get a hold of her. What was I going to say? Like, I didn't have any evidence, really.
Yeah, we went on it. Actually, we kind of did.
I have a whole episode.
Photos of you guys on the date. Like,
I looked so good that day.
we actually have a ton of evidence.
I do
if
have
we
a ton of
wanted to
evidence.
drop it.
But we decided not to, probably out of fear.
Yeah. We also wanted to make an episode.
Yeah, that's
which,
true.
I don't know if we could do that if we were
The
actively
thing-
ruining people's relationships.
Yeah. The thing, too, though, like, I feel like we all have heard the stories of someone sending a screenshot with nothing but intention to just tell a girl the truth. Like, just to let you know, this is what your boyfriend sent me on Instagram. I don't know what your parameters are. Just wanted to share it. I
Yeah.
think if you're going to say something, that's the best way to go.
I agree.
But then again, I feel like we've seen so many, heard stories, seen stories of girls being like, oh, well, you're a fucking whore and you're trying to get with my boyfriend.
Yeah.
And, so I think if that happens, like, it's best to just ignore it and just, like, you did what you needed to do.
Yeah, because then it's like, okay, balls in your court. I've done everything I needed to do. Like,
Don't get too involved, too.
Don't get too involved.
Don't be looking for updates. Don't be this
No.
person's guidance counselor through this journey, because that's not your responsibility.
no, just say, yo, this is what happened, and done.
However you decide to deal with it is your concern. I'm just going to leave it here.
And I think you should.
I think if that's how you're going to go about it, you should.
You should do it. And I think you could even make a rule that you should always do it.
Yeah. With that.
Is that something we follow?
Well, I guess we'll have to
I
see
would
going
want
forward.
to. Yeah,
We'll
I
have
would
to
want
see going
to.
forward.
Because honestly, that hasn't happened to me like a ton of times. Like people's boyfriends. Well, just wait until next episode. Actually, yeah.
That has happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brutal.
All right. Let's move
Brutal.
on. Okay, so I talked about this guy last week, and now I'm talking about him again.
Just a reoccurring character.
A season 2 character, but this is the second person to ever use their real name. Whatever, I don't care. Anyways, I said last week that he broke my heart, and now I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh no.
Okay, this is gonna get me in trouble, but I had this really big group of friends in early high school, like 9th grade, 10th grade. Big group of girls, 15. We know how this ends. No one's ever loyal to each other in those massive...
The 10th grade
friend group that's like
groups.
15 people.
Yeah.
And then you graduate with 2 friends.
Yeah,
So this is that era for me.
of course.
I have a big group of girlfriends. And in my head, I'm like, we're all friends and we're all
Yeah.
loyal to each other. I don't know if I just made that up or if that's an unheard thought of.
It's a 10th grade.
Yeah.
It's a 10th grade. People in the 10th grade like to break the girl code.
Yeah.
Like, because you're in 10th grade.
'Cause you're
Obviously.
15, yeah.
Like,
So I had this boyfriend, Cameron. I can't believe I'm using his name.
Cammy.
And it was his like 15th or 16th birthday or something like that. And I say, great, where's your birthday party at? He says, babe, I'm
It's
so sorry.
my birthday party.
You didn't get invited. And I thought, that's fine. Like, are you going with your guy friends? He says, no, I'm going with your friends.
Yeah, like,
So
what?
my group of girlfriends, fuck you bitches, number one. My group of girlfriends had a birthday party for my boyfriend and invite me.
That's mean.
That is wrong intentions right there.
No, that's
those are the wrong intentions.
And that's what it comes back to, intentions. It's like, what are your intentions?
They had the
Where's
wrong
your head
intentions.
at? Like, yeah.
So I went home and like literally sobbed for hours because I was so heartbroken, and he was like sending me Snapchats of him at the party like with these girls and stuff. I'm destroyed.
What are we doing?
I'm destroyed, right? Anyway, I get this text from my friend who was in town, and she was like, let's go hang out and get your mind off this. So we ended up hanging out a couple hours, and then she was like, do you want to drive by the party? Because we're 15 and that's the only thing that you do in this town is stalk people in cars. So I said,
if you haven't parked up outside of someone's fucking party,
what's wrong with you, bro?
Where are you at? Just wait until next week. That's another part of the story for next week.
Yeah.
Next week's going to be bad.
Here's a quick side note really fast. Margaret, like my best friend from high school, my best friend from home, we used to do that all the time, like pull up on people, but she had the loudest car in high school and everyone knew it was us all the time.
That's bad.
Because we would I remember there was this one guy we always used to like stalk, and I can't say who it is.
Not stalking.
And we were driving by his girlfriend's house, and I think he texted us and he was like, is that you guys outside? Because it was just like outside because her car was so shitty.
Not you guys getting caught.
Oh yeah, we got caught a lot of times.
That's brutal.
But we still did it.
That's brutal.
So she said, let's drive by and just see what's going on. Not expecting to see anything. It's dark, it's not an outside party.
Yeah.
So we drove by, we do a little slow drive by, and I got everything I needed to know because I looked up into the house, and you know how when it's dark outside and someone has the lights on inside, you can see clearly into the house, especially if you're like doing a little slow drive by. Oh, I was examining.
Of course.
I was examining. I see my boyfriend and this girl in a room in the party, and that was just alone.
A moment.
Alone.
Yeah.
Door closed. Together. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We can infer where that went. So yeah, anyways, my boyfriend cheated on me with those girls, I think 2 of them.
Wow.
But
same night.
I don't know. I might be wrong though. Anyways.
Okay.
He got with one of them. And so obviously he broke up with me because I'm a simp and I begged for him back. And
that's how it goes when you're 15.
Yeah. And all of my girlfriends in that friend group, like sided with him, like took his side. And those 2, the ones that hooked up that night, they started dating.
Wow.
Like right after. And I lost all my friends. So I had no more friends anymore because they had all decided like that they wanted to be on his side. I don't know. He must have told them some crazy shit that obviously wasn't true.
They threw a birthday party and didn't invite you. So I don't know. They obviously had some beef. There was something there.
I don't know. They really didn't like me. And yeah. And then it's really interesting because that girl that he started like dating, he actually fucked her friend a few months later and they broke up, and then he started dating that girl, and then he also cheated on her.
Seems like a toxic cycle.
Seems like I was the first of many, first in line. So that's the thing, right? Their intentions were all off. Everyone in that situation's intentions were off. There was no, like I think I might have a connection with him, like, and I want to explore it. Like that wasn't the situation we were in. We were in the situation of, you're my friend and I'm going to fuck your boyfriend. Like that was the situation we were in.
Yeah. And I think girl code, like intentions are everything. Like if you're just talking about girl code to break girl code and to be like, oh, like, then what's the point?
Yeah.
You need to go into it. Like you obviously have some kind of intention if you're like thinking about it.
Or asking like, hey girls, what's our parameters on the X's here? You know?
Like what? Yeah.
It just shouldn't. That's the thing Maddie and I talked about again, and I think we said this at the start of the episode. Like we've never sat down with our friends and discussed boundaries.
Yeah, it's just like I feel like it's just an unwritten thing.
We just
knew them. Have them.
Like
yeah.
So the thing that this person asked is, at what point does your feelings matter? Like at what point are you going to put your needs above others around them?
People?
And to that I say, whenever you want.
Yeah, whenever you want. Whenever you feel like it's worth having like the guilty conscience or whatever, then and like worth losing whatever, then that's when you kind of just have to balance it out, weigh it out on a scale and see what's more important to you. And then that's when you know.
This is definitely a little bit of a one-off. We're pivoting from our girl code topic because we have a question that we want to answer because we disagree on it, and we want to
we're not even answering it. We're debating
we're
it.
We're gonna fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just want to throw this in here. So
it's just funny because this poor person's not going to get an actual response.
Mm-mm.
It's
well,
us like,
Maddie and I FaceTime each other every single time there's a question form submission.
We say, did you see it?
Did you see it? Do you see it? And then we'll read it to each other and we'll talk about it. So we called each other on this one. This is the first question we have not agreed on and we normally, if we don't agree on a question, we'll talk and then you start to agree with the other person's points. We don't agree. We don't agree on this answer.
And I feel like I could be persuaded on this. And it's funny though, because I feel like we're both taking what I would think would normally be your response, and I like, you know what I mean?
We
vice
switched.
versa. Yeah.
Here's the question. Hi, ladies. That's
hey.
This kind of relates to your situationship segment, but it's so much more than that. We started off as high school friends, and neither of us knew that the other one was gay. A couple years later, we hooked up once or twice. We're comfortable with each other, so it's never been awkward between us, but as I was finishing up my last few years of college, we drifted apart and barely talked. He's re-entered my life since, and I'm not complaining about it. I present myself as emotionally unavailable because I'm afraid of commitment, and I'm still nervous about seeing him. Yeah, right. And I'm still nervous about being seen in public with another guy. Also, we live in different provinces, and I'm not that keen on long distance. Not that it's about money and gifts, but he's gotten me tickets to an NBA game, tickets to a concert of an artist that we both love, and a custom Valentine's Day present. If that doesn't show he cares about me as more than a friend, then what does? He came to stay with me for a week, and we went on all kinds of adventures, plus dinner dates and movie nights, not to mention that he drove 16 fucking hours to come see me.
That's crazy.
I know. We've seen each other a couple times since then, and he's opened up about his feelings, so I know exactly how he feels, and he's asked me to be his boyfriend. I didn't say yes or no because I'm not sure if I'm ready for a relationship yet, but he's so understanding, and I can't afford to lose him. Help a king out. What do you think I should do?
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to get this out here, because he's asked you to be his boyfriend, and we're just lingering. I felt a lot of pressure to get this out here.
There's an urgency here to this question.
It's of high importance. Mark your questions as that, guys.
Yeah.
high importance question.
Low importance, like answer when you can. Needs full episode.
It's like Outlook.
Yeah, literally. Okay. So I know I come on here a lot and I say, always go for it. Always make the romantic move.
It'll further the plot.
I'm always game. I'm always down. And this time I was reading the question.
Fun police.
I was fun policing. I was like, okay, let's just think about it before we jump into it this time. I'm taking a new approach on life, a new approach on my dating.
Slowing it down.
Can I read the question really quick?
Of course.
Can I just look at it?
Sure.
So I think it's pretty obvious that this person definitely cares about you. Like, I think where I was kind of concerned was where you were saying you weren't sure if you're ready for a relationship. Like, that was kind of the red flag for me, because I literally just hopped into a relationship that I wasn't ready for. Really, really not good. Not just the relation. Like, I feel like because I wasn't ready for the relationship, I like kind of made it bad.
You were not.
Like, I wasn't myself. Like, it wasn't good for me. It wasn't good for the person I was involved with. It wasn't good for,
me.
My friends, like literally anyone. So
I want to get involved too.
I just think if you're not sure you're ready, especially in a situation where like you're not sure if you're ready to like go out in public with another guy, and like that's a big step. Like, that's a big step. And I've seen, my friends go through it, and it's just like, I feel like that's something you need to be ready for, or you need to like feel confident in before, going out and doing it. And that's not to say you shouldn't still be with this person. I mean, if they're still, you said he was understanding and you don't want to lose him, like, but maybe just like see if you can take things a little slower. I think that's where my head's at. I don't think you should jump into a relationship. I think you should maybe just like keep vibing.
Are they jumping into a relationship though?
I mean, I think you can argue yes, because he says he's not ready, or they say they're not ready. So, well, I guess, yeah, he. But so it's like, if you're not ready, then yeah, you're jumping into it, I think. Mm-hmm. No matter how long you've known each other. If you're like, oh, I don't want a relationship right now, you're jumping into something you're not ready for. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where my head was at. But then again, also, it does sound like you guys have like a really nice relationship, and it's not something that I would want to lose either.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm thinking about, because I looked at this also from a LGBTQ plus.
Lauren was immediately like, "You're in, like, go for it, date them."
I think I was just
and
jealous.
I was shocked. Like, we were both on FaceTime, and I was like, I just thought Lauren was on the same page with me. I was like, wow, yeah, that's pretty heavy. Like, and then Lauren was like, what do you mean?
This is beautiful.
Marry them. I was like, oh, really?
I
Okay.
think it's
I didn't see it coming.
because here it is. Here's the issue of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I just am jealous. I am jealous. I want this.
You're like, I want that.
I want this beautiful friendship to lovers
The
situation.
friendship to lovers is everything.
I will say though that I do understand where you're coming from, not being ready to be in public with with another guy, because that made me reflect.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, obviously my whole life I've been ready to date a woman. Like, I've wanted to date women my whole life, and never really thought about like not being ready to go in public with them or anything. Like, that just was not a thought that crossed my mind, because I have mainly publicly dated men, and gone out publicly in a relationship aspect with men. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, fuck, maybe I'm not ready to go out in public with a woman. Like, do you know what I mean? It really made me think, because I don't know yet. I don't know. I don't have a woman that I want, you know?
So that's kind of, I don't know.
I don't have a woman. I got no bitches. Like, I don't know.
Bitches, so I don't know. Yeah, no,
I look like
know.
this, and I'm gay. Do you think I get anyone? I look like every single Lululemon bitch ever. Like, I get 0 ladies.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I just think if you're not ready, there's nothing wrong with taking a little more time to figure it out before. And then I think when you are ready, you know. Like, you know you're ready. You're like, okay, I've got my shit together. I'm confident in this.
Fear, though. Like, what if it's just like getting into a relationship is scary. Getting into a gay relationship is scarier.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that is probably where a lot of this is coming from. Like, are you emotionally unavailable because you are scared of finally being open and finally having that relationship that you know you deserve, that you probably didn't grow up seeing in media, because we all know that gay people on TV just have horrible relationships and horrible lives and horrible families, and that's just what it's painted on. There is no healthy, you know, slow burn, nice relationship that we really get to see on television. So to me, like, reading this question, I just saw, you know, tick, 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 box after box. And like, I just think what a beautiful relationship. You know, you have your friend. If I think here's what I would do in that situation. I think they've been very open with you about their feelings. Yeah. And they told you exactly how they're feeling. They want you to be your boyfriend, be their boyfriend. You need to be totally open about your feelings too. I assume you have.
Yeah.
But if you haven't told them exactly how you feel, leave nothing out.
Like, say that you're normally emotionally, like, you put on an emotional unavailable friend.
You're the only person I've considered this with. Like, let them know, assure them. They're putting themselves out there a lot right now. Yeah. They're really exposing themselves. Asking someone to be your boyfriend or be your girlfriend or be your partner, and then being like, having to think about it, that's a fair response for yourself. But it's also really stressful for them. Like, I'd be shitting bricks. So I think, give some reassurance. Yeah. Say, you know, I don't know if I'm there, but you are the only person I think I could be with. Yeah. You know, and figure that out. Talk with each other. Make some form of a compromise, because right now it does seem like they're kind of molding to what you need. Yeah. And part of a relationship is like,
it's a two-way street.
Maybe give them what you can. Does that make sense?
Give them what you can.
Talk about it.
And
be
if
open.
you're like not interested in anyone else, say that. Be like, I'm not talking to other people. Like, it's still very like exclusive between us. I'm just trying to figure out, you know, what I need and what I'm ready for. Yeah. Because I can tell you there's nothing worse than getting into a relationship when like you're just not ready for it, and it's just not something that you want. Even if you really care about the person, like a relationship is different.
Or a relationship is different. And that's why I think you need to, again, tell them everything that you're thinking. The long distance thing does really suck. Yeah. That's definitely a factor to take in. I mean, it sucks because we can't sit here and be like, be with them or don't be with them. But what I think you just need to remind yourself too, like that this is a struggle for them too. Remember that they're going to need some reassurance in this. And yeah, I really hope you follow up with us and let us know.
Yeah, I would love to.
Because I think we can expand more when we know more.
Yeah, more context is always helpful.
I say go for it with communication and boundaries.
Well, I say that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think you should just be a little more, just not even a little more. Like, I don't know, you're obviously taking it.
Your
slowly
options
now.
might not just be boyfriend, not friends at all.
Yeah, exactly.
You might be able to find somewhere in the middle that works
try
for
to find a
both of you.
happy medium.
Mhm.
I think that's where we're at. And we did come to a conclusion. Good for us.
Wow.
Because we really didn't.
That's why we work.
We were like, are you joking?
No, I was actually like, Maddie, do you have any fucking brains? Obviously, this person needs to be with them. They bought them NBA
No.
tickets.
Yeah, like we were like, and I was like, don't. There's no way. But I think, yeah, upon reflection, there is probably a happy medium.
Yeah. And I mean, if you guys do get together and then you break up because you're not ready, you'll be like Maddie and she's fine.
Maybe just slightly bitter. But we could join the club. I'd love to have someone else going through it with me.
Going in your corner with you?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really be in your corner because I'm kind of the, I told you so.
Yeah,
I told you so.
Yeah.
Whatever, it was fun to watch. Well,
It's that song. It's the Jack Harlow song that
Yeah.
gives the shout out to the friend.
yeah. Well, that is, I think, it for this week's episode of the Weekend Roundup.
wait.
I hope we can come to you with a spicy tea episode next week, Maddie.
Next week's gonna be me trauma dumping. I'm just
A
letting
trauma
you
dumping
know.
week?
Yeah.
Well, I think they're used to it at this point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that wraps up this episode, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're listening on YouTube. Click the bell button if you're listening to us on Spotify. We're now on Amazon Music
And
too.
click the bell on YouTube too.
Apple Podcasts.
Anything you can click, please just do.
Click everything. Leave reviews.
Click
leave
everything.
rates.
Comment everything.
Mm-hmm. Find us on Instagram and TikTok at the Weekend Roundup.
Mhm. Send us
And
advice. Send us
advice.
questions. We love answering.
We are gonna write
shit.
down a proper outro so that every episode we're not just like
do this
and
that and this.
do. Or you're gonna see me reading from my hand next week.
Oh, share with your friends. I will say share it with your friends, and this is the one I want to put emphasis on because we're trying to get. I want to get 2,000 followers in the next month.
You hear
on
that?
Insta.
You hear that?
We're at like almost 15.
4 away, I think.
Yeah,
last time I
we're
checked.
pretty close.
You know who keeps me on track with the followers is Brianna.
I was gonna say
her
Brianna?
entire camera roll is screenshots of the account being like, well, your followers went up 3 days this day and then you lost 2 this day, so you did something wrong.
She's like, what did you guys do?
I know.
What did you guys say last episode? She like watches the episodes and she's like, guys.
No, I know.
Seriously.
That's how we corrected our STI mistake
Yeah.
last time. I got a knock on my door this morning. Do you guys ever stop saying STIs or STDs and go to STIs? I'm like, no, we don't.
We definitely don't. But I wrote that note in my phone in like literally 2016, 2015, like when like YouTube channel. So fair enough.
Yeah.
I was uneducated.
Yeah, you were going to do a YouTube video on STIs.
Yeah, I was. I had a good story. I'll tell it sometime.
Which will be told here sometime.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that wraps up this episode. Talk soon.
soon.
Thanks so much for watching this episode of the Weekend Roundup. Be sure to like, subscribe, and press the bell button. Talk soon.